Hi everyone, welcome to your lesson on single-celled organisms. This lesson is an extension on your characteristics of life lesson, and the very first few slides are going to be review from. So characteristics of life, when we talked about that, we talked about what makes something living. And on your graphic organizer, you're going to pick a few of these to write down, a few that you're weakest on. So living things are composed of cells that have different levels of organization. They use energy, respond to their environment, grow, reproduce, and adapt. There's two basic kinds of cells that we talked about last lesson, and those are prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes and eukaryotes differ in that prokaryotes do not have a nucleus and eukaryotes do. And so because prokaryotes don't have a nucleus, the DNA does not have anywhere to be tightly wound, and so it is just existing, floating around in the cytoplasm. Whereas in a eukaryote, the DNA is tightly wound up in the nucleus. Examples of prokaryotes are all types of bacteria, and examples of eukaryotes are protists, different kinds of fungi, plants, and animals. Notice protists are eukaryotes. Protists are single-celled organisms. They're made up of just one cell. However, they do have a nucleus. So they do not fall under the prokaryote definition, even though they're very, very, very simple form of life. So here's a diagram of prokaryote and eukaryote, and in the prokaryote you can see clearly all of the orange squiggly lines. That's the DNA just hanging out in the cytoplasm. The eukaryote, you can see the DNA is inside of the nucleus, secured, and that in the eukaryotic cell there's all different types of organelles that make the cell function. Whereas the prokaryotic cell, it just has the DNA, it has some ribosomes, cytoplasm, cell membrane, and cell wall, and that's it. So protists are eukaryotes because they have a nucleus, and they cannot be classified as plants, animals, or fungi, but they act similar to each of those. So the four main types that we explored in our card layout and the lab are amoeba, paramecium, euglena, and volvox. So this is an overview basically of your card layout. So the euglena and the volvox are similar in that they are in the animal group algae, and they are also similar in that they get their food from sunlight. So because they're types of algae, they require photosynthesis to get food. Another similarity the euglena and the volvox have is that they move by using their tail, which is called a flagella. The amoeba and the paramecium are similar in that they're both protozoa, but the amoeba does not have cilia or a flagella. It moves by stretching and bending its body like a big blob. The paramecium has the little tiny hairs, and you can see the diagram. The hairs go all the way around its body. And one thing that I wanted to add is that the paramecium, I'm sorry, not the paramecium, the euglena, and you saw this in the lab, it has an eye spot. And you can see in the diagram, you can see the nucleus. Inside the nucleus, there's a really dark spot. That showed up on your lab slide as well as the eye spot, and the eye spot's closer down towards the tail. So there's the nucleus with the dark spot, and then to the left of it, there's something literally called the eye spot. And you saw that on your lab slide as a dark spot, dark, dark, dark blue, but you did not see the flagellum on the slide. It was too small to be able to see with your eyes. The volvox also has flagella, although volvox grow in different stages. And so depending on what stage you were looking at in your slide, you may or may not have seen flagella. The paramecium, however, you would have been able to see the little tiny cilia if you had it at a high magnification. And the amoeba was very clear in your slide, even at a low magnification. So don't forget to go through your graphic organizer and color code. You have two main parts to today's lesson, and it's prokaryotes and eukaryotes. So you should choose two different colors, one to outline each box, and then you have four things coming off of the eukaryote box. Those should be the same color as the eukaryotes. Don't make everything different colors or else it will lose its meaning. If you're confused about anything, please don't forget to ask for a mini lesson when you're in class. And please file this away where it should go in your interactive notebook. Thank you. Have a great day.